Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the 139th episode of the Penny Bloom Podcast. 'Tis I, Colton Robertson, and I am joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, I am just glad to be here, especially on another Prime episode.
Another
of
Prime
the
episode.
Podcast 139. It just, I guess it just happens to be that way.
It just happens to be that way. You're
but this
appearing
is-
on two Prime episodes in a row.
This is definitely a fun episode, so I see why it is a Prime episode.
I got one question for you, Joey.
What
You comfy?
I'm pretty comfy, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad because today, what we're going to be discussing is comfort movies, comfort characters, comfort TV shows. It's something I've wanted to. I hadn't really thought of until today, really, when I hit up the group chat. I was like, hey, I have an idea. Let's do this. And if you want to hear more on the backstory for this idea, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where we laid out a ton of honorable mention options. We're doing a top 5 in each of these categories. We're going to do top 5 characters first, top 5 TV shows second, and top 5 movies last. And these are in terms of how the comfort they bring us, your comfort characters, your comfort TV shows, your comfort movies. So sometimes it was hard to limit it. And those options are over at patreon.com. One that I wanted to put out here, one that I know you wouldn't have because you're watching it, The Sopranos. We had some The Sopranos talk last week with me and Kyler over the Many Saints in Newark. So I was hoping I could get your thoughts, where you're at, how deep into the show you are and stuff.
Okay,
I want to hear what you're thinking.
I'm a little bit into season 4. Show's fantastic. It's definitely in my top 10 of all time. Quickly approaching top 5, if not already in there.
Yeah, it will.
It
will.
Can I throw out like just a thing that happened? I guess just a spoiler.
Yeah. Fuck it. Sorry. Potential spoiler for the next 15 seconds. Skip ahead.
Just the biggest thing that's happened, I would say, Jackie Jr.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he tried to do his big thing. Yeah, and then boom. That happened. Let's see what else is happening. Carmine's getting involved now, which is cool. We're seeing more of him. Who was the guy? What's his name? John something.
Sacrimony?
Maybe. Yeah, he's kind of been going off the rails a little bit, and then Carmine ordered the hit on him. But then he just came in to talk with Tony and was like, hey, tell Ralphie I'll accept his apology, or like something like that. And then now it's like
wife.
Yeah, about his wife. Yeah, about the 90-pound mole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just said, I'll accept his apology now. So Tony's like, well, do I still? He's kind of like, give it to. I think that's the last kind of thing to happen.
No, yeah, that development and the way and Ralph's storyline, the way it escalates is intense because you've seen Ralph do some shit, right?
Yeah, he's Tony beat him up.
Yeah.
That happened. What else has he done? He's done some stuff.
He's a bit of a scumbag.
Yeah. He the reason Tony beat him up
because he beat to death.
Yeah,
beat a woman to death.
Yeah, he
That was when I was like, I'm out on this guy. That's it for me. He was a fun,
thinks
exciting
he's
character
funny.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Oh, that's what he's gonna do. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he was like the really good comic relief for a while. Like the show kind of needed like a funny like character like to make fun of these guys. You know, it was like working for a little bit, and then he just started getting annoying. Like,
well, it's because
I mean, that's his
realize
character, like-
you realize whose side you're on.
yeah,
Like you are here for Tony and those guys. Fuck this guy making fun of them. Fuck Ralph. You're like, you ain't gonna do shit to them. They'll do the shit to you. Like, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that was get the fuck out of here.
Oh, this
That
was
was,
Gabagool. You know? Yeah, I just love it. Man, I didn't know until watching the show that Gabagool was actually like a legitimate name for
food.
meat. Like it's a legitimate like I just thought it was some made up like Italian word like for
Nah.
like it's a legit like I
It's
just
a
thought
thing.
like it was just a thing people said. Like Gabagool, you know, like I was like, what? That's a real name?
Amaron.
Yeah, like oh man. It's so funny, like
Just when I think I'm out, they bring me back in.
just when I thought I was out. Yeah, just and all the hand movements they
The
do,
hand-
like
And oh, dude, Paulie fucking walnuts.
dude,
3 times, Tone. 3 times.
the freaking the like silver wings,
wings.
the like
The fucking wings.
He said, dude, one of his lines, Tony was like just moving up. I think Junior went to jail or something like that, and Tony was like the boss now or something like
Yeah.
that. And Tony was like, I gotta go kill this guy. But then Paulie was like, don't like, what did
You're
he say?
above
He
that
was like,
now.
It was like, it took you many years to earn these stripes. This is just one of the many perks. He said perks. The way he said perks, like, this is just one of the many perks. Let me do it for you. Like, it was just, oh man, I don't know, like, just
This was the perks of being the boss.
yeah, oh man, this I don't know. I
3
just
times, Tone. 3 times.
I didn't think like this is what the show would be. I never really thought, you know, like it's always been on my list.
Bring the cookies.
Yeah, it's always been on my list to watch.
No, you think it's going to be a lot more mafia heavy. And then it's like, no, this is straight up about Tony's life.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
every
it's,
single aspect about it.
Mhm.
Like all the family shit, all of his therapy, all of this shit. Like you were going to get every bit of it for as long, like it's a fantastic show for that reason. However, it is not one that brings a ton of comfort. In fact, it brings a lot of anxiety when you're watching it. What's about to happen? What's going to happen? Who's going to die? Et cetera, et cetera. I need something with a little less intensity. So another. I considered Tony Soprano for this top 5 comfort characters list just because I've been obsessed with The Sopranos lately since I just finished it and watched the movie. But I was like, that guy doesn't bring me any kind of comfort. So let's start with your 5 here on your list of comfort characters. Who do you have at the bottom?
Okay, at the bottom, and he does not deserve like the bottom spot.
No, it's top 5. Top 5 is great no matter what.
This guy, like, oh my god, Danny DeVito as Frank, and Always Sunny.
Damn, that's a great one.
Like we call him Frack because we have a guy at school that he literally goes by Frack. Like we call him Frack more than his real name.
Got you.
But like it was one scene in Always Sunny, and he was like teaching, I don't know, one of the guys how to hit on girls or something like that. And he was like, here, let me show you how a pro does it. And he walks up and he's like, all you got to say is, hey, your name. And then like, I don't know, something after that. And then he goes up to a girl and he goes, hey, I'm Frack. Fuck. Like he messed up like immediately. And then he just walked away like and like, I don't know, just Danny
I was in the
DeVito,
ring, I
like,
was throwing trash. I started eating garbage.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on. The dude's just an iconic character. Like, he always brings a laugh. Like, nothing can get better than Danny DeVito and Always Sunny. Like,
he always nails it. He always nails it. I've also got a sitcom character for my 5. I've got Marshall Erickson of How I Met Your Mother, played by Jason Segel. this is just How I Met Your Mother was like an early show I watched, and this was the first character that I like latched onto and was like, he really resonates with me. And he's kind of an everyman, you know. But he's super funny. He's super passionate and stuff. So I was like, I really fuck with this guy. This is my fucking dude. And you know, you see him go through some shit and you see him bounce back, and I love that about him. And he's definitely my favorite character from that show, How I Met Your Mother. And Jason Segel's just fantastic.
I can't really say too much on How I Met Your Mother because I've never watched it. I've heard it's really great though. It is on my list. Just a lower priority. Got some just really good shows.
That's fair. I wouldn't say that that's one you have to rush to at all. By any means.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really good shows that I haven't seen. And The Sopranos. What's up with 6A and 6B?
That's just, I don't know why they didn't just do 6 and 7. I think it's because like there must have been like some certain amount of episodes you have to hit for it to be like 2 separate
I didn't know
seasons.
if it was like, if the story, like it was like part 1 and part 2 to like a massive like story or something like at the end.
Not really. I mean, like kind of. There's a certain feel to season 6A and B that feels a little different than the rest of the seasons, but it's nothing too crazy. Like it's still on par with, like, I didn't understand it either. I consider them, I consider it one big season. Fuck the A and B. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Fair.
But yeah, what's your 4 here?
This one, and it's important that it's the character and not the show, because this character is just and it's Danny Phantom. This guy, yes. Like I made sure Danny Phantom as the character here and not the show, because that's why I watched Danny Phantom. Yes, it also had, you know, a development in my goth, you know, girl crush, you know, that every guy has, you know, watching those cartoons growing up. But Danny Phantom was the man. Like every guy has a crush on Danny Phantom, whether you want to admit it or not.
Danny Phantom stirred some feelings in me when I was a 7-year-old.
Danny Phantom is Danny Phantom, man. That dude was the man. Like
there's a scene in New Girl where Winston is explaining to Nick. Nick can't grasp how to find another man attractive. Like there's like this male model who is objectively one of the most beautiful people you've ever seen in your fucking life. And Winston and Nick's like, I don't see it. You know, like it's just not something I'm attracted to. And Winston's like, all right, here, let me put it for you this way. If one day you woke up and you no longer had your face or your body, and you instead had his face and his body, how would you feel? And he was like, oh, I'd feel very good. and Winston was like, and that's all. And he's like, that's all? He's like, that's all you need? And it's like, yeah, that means, and he's like, that is a handsome man. And and I had those feelings about Danny Phantom. I was like, I want to be Danny Phantom.
I wanted to be Danny Phantom more than anything else. Live his exact life, everything. I wanted so badly for my parents to somehow build a ghost machine that I could go into and freaking turn into a ghost myself. Like, I had dreams of being Danny Phantom. Like, dude...
I don't know why. Kindred spirit here. Danny Phantom and Ben 10. No idea what the connection is, but those are the two in my head.
Like
they go hand in hand.
It's just like the transition, you know, the whooshing, you know, and then it's like, it's just the transformation. Like, it's just, oh, man. Just what a cool guy. Got the girl, you know, was bullied no more because he freaking has powers and he can freaking bully the bully. Just freaking hot sister.
A king.
Everything was just great about that show, man. And the parents' costumes were even like iconic. Like, you know, they always wore the same thing. Like, their suits, like, you never saw the mom's face. Like, rarely. You only saw her mouth. Like, her eyes were always covered with those red goggles for some reason. But yeah, that's my 4th character. Not the show, but character. Love you, Danny.
All right. That's a good one. That's a good one. My 4. This is where we start getting into the Star Wars territory here, which you head to Patreon. We'll explain more on why you'll find a lot of Star Wars and Marvel here. But I got Grogu.
Of course, yeah.
You have to. I mean, like, there's no character in Star Wars who objectively anyone can look at that little guy and go,
even when he's eating eggs, you know, the last of these people's, you know, chance to live, he's still really cute doing it. And you still are, like, comforted by this kid just eating these eggs.
I love Grogu. I love Baby Yoda. This is my baby. I would protect this child with my life. Like, this is...
It doesn't get much better.
I feel as strongly about. And it's amazing because he hasn't said a fucking word.
Nope.
Just been cute as fuck.
Noises.
That's all. And frankly, that's one of the best tropes you can use in TV.
Just cute.
Small, young, cute baby, no speak.
Perfectly eatable. You know, just throwing that out. Just out of the blue. Random thought I had. But yeah, it doesn't get much better than Grogu. I mean, come on.
That's the kid right there. That's
like we all know and love Yoda, and Yoda was already cute, and he was old. So they just gave us the cutest form of him.
Genius.
Whoever thought of Grogu, like whoever was the initial, like, hey, let's have Baby Yoda. You know, someone had to say it. You know,
pretty sure
that's how it was said. Like,
I don't know why. I feel like it was Jon Favreau. I'm not sure if it might have been Dave Filoni, but I'm pretty sure it was Jon Favreau.
Epic cameo in The Sopranos, by the way.
Epic cameo.
It was like kind of a little cringy sometimes when he was trying.
Oh, absolutely! It was hard to watch it,
but funny.
But funny. And that'll be the thread throughout this episode.
Yeah,
every once in a while, we'll bring it back to The Sopranos somehow. But yeah, Grogu was my 4 here.
Okay. I guess it's my 3 now, and I'm also moving into Star Wars. And this is hard. These top 3. Well, number 1 is definitely number 1.
Same for me.
For me. But these 2 are Star Wars. My next 2, and I had a really hard time putting one above the other. But I'm gonna put Obi-Wan Kenobi as my 3. It's just, I mean, like he's like our dad on the screen, you know. It's like
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you did this because here's the thing. I was counting on you putting him in your top 5.
Awesome.
He's like, that's the reason he's not in my top 5.
Awesome.
Is because I was like, I'm fairly certain Joe is going to throw Obi-Wan Kenobi on this list.
And I put Obi-Wan on because I'm like, I don't think Colton, like I know Colton would want to, but I don't think he's going to put him in there. So I have to put him in there.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Wow.
But, you podcast enough podcast together for over a year. You start to learn these sorts of things.
I guess you just know. Yeah.
Especially over Star Wars, as much as we've talked about it.
But I mean, come on.
Yeah. And that's why because of that, that's why I was like, he'll definitely do that. No, Obi-Wan Kenobi's the shit. And like I mentioned in the Patreon, I'm reading the Kenobi novel currently. I checked it out from my local library, which was a nice, fun little experience I haven't had in a while because I didn't go during COVID at all. And I was like, you know what, let's head back there. And I found Kenobi. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm in, buddy. And I'm a few chapters in, and I'm like, this show gonna be sweet as fuck. Like, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good because I'm reading all of this and I'm just picturing Ewan McGregor in my head doing all of it. And I'm like, I'm actually going to be able to see that next year.
Maybe it's just like, more Ewan McGregor, you know,
he's
like the Sea Otters video, you know, where he's just out with the sea otters or whatever. That's a comfort video. He's
got these documentaries on Apple that are like his motorcycle journeys across continents and stuff. Yeah. This
What?
man's a fucking awesome. Like he has like a long way down, long way up, and long way around.
He's
and
just
it's
like another Keanu Reeves, man. Keanu loves motorcycles. He's also cool. You know,
dude,
like
they'd
hit it off.
They'd hit it off. Like I need like a smoke sesh with Keanu Reeves, Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac, and him, and Ewan McGregor.
Wow.
I need it.
That is a dream blunt
Inject
rotation.
it into my veins.
Yeah, lately the trend that I've been seeing is nightmare blunt rotations on TikTok. And oh my god, like that's so like that's a like just hits a different nerve. Anyway,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Obi-Wan I mean, it's Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi.
You got a preferred appearance? Is there any specific movie in which Obi-Wan really stands out for you?
Ooh. I mean, it has to be Revenge of the Sith. I mean, it might be a little precursor to in a future mention.
I didn't even think of that. I was tripping.
But yeah, that's definitely the movie that stands out. I mean, like that's just like that performance of him. I mean, that's like just every Star Wars kid just watches that movie 500 times over. So it's like, I mean, come on. You can't really.
It's the shit. But yeah, I that's certainly where Obi-Wan Kenobi becomes Obi-Wan Kenobi for me.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's
Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
But alas, my number 3, I got my top 3 here. I've got one Star Wars character, I've got one Marvel character, and I've got this here DC character.
Batman. So it's a okay, interesting. Batman.
So top 2 are Star Wars and Marvel, but here I've got Batman. This is one that goes back to my earliest childhood memories. I collected all the little Batman action figures I could find. I have a giant tub of them here. Like, Batman is my longest running fandom. I mean, right there next to Star Wars. But holy fucking shit. There's just not a Batman thing I don't like. You know, like I understand all the people who are concerned with different interpretations. I don't like this one. Fuck that one. I get it. However, I don't give a fuck. It's all Batman. Fuck it.
This new Batman too.
Oh, it's gonna be the best one. I'm not one to do that. I am not one to go that like before it comes out. I will not tell you I'm fairly certain this will be the best one. This is going to be the best one. Like, oh my god. The fact
that they're doing the Riddler and it's already great alone, like if you can do the Riddler and do it good, like that is one of the coolest Batman villains. Like obviously it's going to be hard to get like a Heath Ledger Joker. Like it's just you can't manufacture that. Yeah. It just has to be something that happens. But like like him as Batman, just it seems like it's just going to be a super cool take. The darkness, like just having the makeup on the eyes, like they're going gritty, they're going real. The Batmobile looks more real. You know, more like. It's just
looks just like a fucking Mustang.
Oh my god! Yeah. It's like this movie is gonna be sick. Like,
but yeah, and if I had to go specific Batman, that's already available to us, for like comfort.
Ooh.
You know,
that's hard to choose a Batman. Like,
I'm not going like a favorite or anything. But in terms of the one that I'll go to and be like, yeah, this is the shit. Like that just brings me that joy is the Batman animated series Batman. Because that's the one I grew up on.
Yes, dude. Oh, it's so good. This one right here, I know the people can't see. This
Oh,
Batman,
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond, bro. Oh my god. If I wasn't spending hours on hours just watching Batman Beyond, dude, like that suit just looked so cool. I don't know. It was just that suit. Like I just I don't know. But yeah, Batman definitely a good pick for sure.
Fuck yeah. What's your 2, buddy?
It is Ahsoka Tano.
Again,
is it one of yours?
I'm so glad you went with it.
Yes, okay,
I didn't
good.
think you'd put it, but it was one that was right there for me.
Okay, this one I thought we might have like we both picked, but I'm glad. But like just the Clone Wars, I mean, like she carries it, like in my opinion. Like she like every time, like I would have like an like it would make like a moment in the show that would make me say something out loud. Like Ahsoka would then say that same thing. Like she basically is the audience's voice.
She's the audience avatar.
She is the audience in the show, and like it's so easy to connect with her. And it's just like the Clone Wars is just such a comfort show. You don't have to go to any, like you don't have to watch it in order. You could just throw on literally any episode. It's going to be good. And if Ahsoka's
another one that
it,
didn't quite make my top 5, but one that I was like, I wanted to so badly. But yeah, it's fantastic. And Ahsoka is, I mean, I think Anakin Skywalker has the best story and all. I think she's almost inarguably the most well-written character. In terms of across all platforms and stuff, like she's, no matter what, Ahsoka Tano has came through. Like that's kind of her deal.
Reliable, always good. Her morals are like always
never shaken. Like maybe the slightest bit, but never to any degree. Like she's never even, like Luke didn't even come close. She's never even reached the level Luke did, I don't think, in terms of being tempted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just so, just her ignition too. Like when just everything about Ahsoka, her character design, like, it's just beautiful.
That's peak Star Wars right there, Ahsoka Tano. She's just the shit. And I'm so glad you went with her, because she was one that, like, I would have, if I felt comfortable with it and didn't want to bore the people, like I would have picked 5 Star Wars characters for my comfort characters. Like it certainly would have happened. I had to branch out, but Ahsoka Tano, she's top 3, you know, like she's my top 1. Grogu, Ahsoka, you know, like right there. And I mean, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka kind of right there, kind of both, but those were the shit for me. God, Ahsoka, she's a great character. And like coming off Clone Wars season 7, I'd argue there isn't a phase I've gone through where I would have like stated so certain and passionately who my favorite character in Star Wars was. Like immediately after season 7 Clone Wars, my favorite character in Star Wars was Ahsoka. Like that was just it. She's my favorite.
I mean, I felt like everyone that watched that season just kind of had to. I mean, like you come out of that season and you're not on like an Ahsoka kick, like I don't know, something's wrong with you. Like
something went wrong.
If you didn't come out of that season, like I would do anything for Ahsoka. Like she is the queen bee of Star Wars. Like that's how I came out of it. Like she is the queen of Star Wars, in my opinion.
She's up there. My 2.
Padme.
My 2.
Maybe the queen. Leia. Fuck. Yeah,
my number 2. Spider-Man.
We do have a duplicate on here.
I knew we would. That was the one I was like, I know Joe's going to have this, but I have to have this.
We have to. Yeah. Yeah.
So Spider-Man's your 1 then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. This is perfect. We can just talk about it here. Spider-Man. Oh my God. And like, it at the moment doesn't particularly matter to me what Spider-Man we're talking about. Peter
Mm-hmm.
Parker, Miles Morales. I love both of them.
All Spider-Man, everything Spider-Man.
Spider-Gwen. Fuck yeah. You know, like I love all this shit. Dude, I earlier today I hopped on my PlayStation
Mm.
and I swung around New York for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I just did it because I needed it this morning.
No
I
better
needed
feeling.
it. And it is actually the thing that made me go, aha, comfort characters, comfort movies, comfort TV. Let's talk about
Wow. Yeah.
it.
Lucky.
But yeah,
You have good graphics, web swinging. The best I have is GameCube, Spider-Man 2. That's the best I have for web swinging around New York. Let me tell you though, it's still
oh, I
good.
know it's still hitting.
It's
It's
still
hitting a
good.
different button for you. It's hitting the nostalgia button 150
I
fucking times.
want ultra graphics swinging though. That's what I need. Like I need a web swinging. I need VR web slinging. That is what I need. Like, I mean, I have two Spider-Man full body costumes. I have one
Yeah.
that is tailor fitted to my body, full, like super tight, like looks sick, freaking awesome, and then one's just like a onesie PJ situation sort of thing. It's really comfortable.
Hell yeah.
I love Spider-Man. It's he's been my number one hero as a kid forever. He's my favorite hero still to this day. I don't think that will ever change. He's just so deeply ingrained in my childhood. Like Blockbuster, used to go there all the time, and I would only get Spider-Man. Like that, those are the only movies I would tell my mom that I would want, and like so we just kept renting that over and over. Eventually, the Blockbuster dude just gave me the movies. Like he was like, "You can just have you can have these movies. You watch them so much." So we got the movies, and like I just watched them over and over and over. Like I just love Spider-Man. I'd freaking walk around the house like acting like I'm web slinging, like
Same.
like I've just always been Spider-Man. Like
Absolutely. When I was little, man, I mean, if I had to pick a comfort Spider-Man, it's Toby.
yeah,
Just because, I mean, I was 2 when that movie came out. 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's who I grew up on. But, like, I had a Spider-Man, like, doll, like a plush doll. It wasn't like, and it was like, it felt really accurate, like, proper sized arms, proper sized legs, proper sized head. Nothing was, like, goofy about it or anything. It just looked like Spider-Man. It was soft, and I was like, fuck yes. I love this thing. And, I only recently learned, like within the last couple weeks, that it was lost and I got a replacement at some point.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck, you're kidding!" And I mean, like,
if they would have told you then, though, you would have been way more devastated.
The
Yeah. So at least
there's a good chance if they told me then, Spider-Man doesn't make it as high up this list.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. Wow. Now that I think about all the Spider-Man things I have a Spider-Man sleeping bag still, in my closet still.
Fuck yeah.
I had this like little mini couch that also folded out thing.
I was about to mention that. That's what I had.
Yeah, and a Spider-Man one thing of that. That was sick. I took that everywhere, bro. I took that thing.
Yeah. Sleepover, that's coming.
I took that thing everywhere. I slept on that thing rather than
going
my
to grandma
bed
and grandpa's.
sometimes.
That's coming with me.
Yeah, like that thing was sick. But the actual like the web slinger things that just sprayed silly string.
Yeah.
Got those all the time. But man, Spider-Man is just you can't beat a character for me. Like Spider-Man is just the character. If I have to pick a character that is my comfort character, like any Spider-Man movie, probably the Tobey Maguire ones that are the most comfortable. But Into the Spider-Verse, like very comfort movie. Like, oh my comfort movie. Yeah. So it's just Spider-Man. Just
Spider-Man's the fucking shit.
thank you,
I love
Stan Lee.
Spider-Man.
Thank you. There's a reason.
And Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby.
There's a reason Spider-Man was Stan Lee's
Steve
favorite.
Ditko. Yeah,
These men are
the original.
geniuses.
Oh, dude, the original Marvel guys, just a different level of creativity. But yeah, Spider-Man is just the absolute best. And you ask me on any other day other than today, if I have this idea on another day, maybe my number one isn't my number one. Today is the birthday of the late great Carrie Fisher. My number one is Leia Organa.
I knew this was going to be on here. It makes sense. Duh, it's the only one left. So
yeah, she's number one or number two no matter what. There is not a character in Star Wars who I look at more, like, arguably, and go, fuck, I love them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I just love Leia. You know, like, she is the absolute best. The resilient spirit, badass as fuck.
I just imagine seeing her train with Luke. Like, us getting... if they ever somehow do that, like somehow find a way to make that work, like, and give us just something in some
if they ever want to, I just want for them to be like,
new,
we're not going to do any of the CGI.
Yeah.
We're gonna give these roles to two new people, and I need the Leia to be Billie Lourd, her daughter, who played her in the Rise of Skywalker clip, where she is training with the, like, I just need that to happen. If that's to happen, if it's going to be live action like that, I want post Return of the Jedi animated adventures with Luke, Leia, Han, Lando, Chewie. I want that. I think that would be fucking awesome. It presents you like, I mean, this era that we're in with the Mandalorian, like a Clone Wars style version of that. That'd be fucking awesome. And it'd be stuff we like. Can you imagine seeing the original trilogy characters in that animation? It would be so jarring. Like,
whoa.
I can't even imagine what they'd look like.
I don't know. That is kind of weird to think about. I can imagine, like, Leia's hair in animation.
Yeah,
I can imagine their
too,
hair,
for
but
sure.
not their face.
I can't imagine their faces at all.
Just like
I have no idea how that would go.
But
and I know they do it, and I'd be like, duh.
But yeah, Leia gets a lot of it from her mom.
And that's why Padme also almost made my top 5 here.
Yeah, I knew picking Obi-Wan and Ahsoka would be safe because I knew you were picking Leia. Like, I knew you were picking Leia, so I'm like, if I'm gonna pick two Star Wars people, like, I'm not gonna pick Leia. I'm gonna pick these two because I know you are picking Leia.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But like, she is the badass of the group. You know, like, gets everyone through the jam. She's just whenever the boys are being boys arguing, she gets, you know, everyone to calm down and you know, get everyone level headed and everything. It's just her character, man. It's
scruffy looking nerf herder.
Freaking
scruffy looking.
Making Han jealous, giving Luke a little smoochy smooch to freaking prove a point. Yep. Oops.
Little did you know.
Whoopsies. But that, you know, Luke didn't. I mean, like, you'd think if they truly are these two massively powerful force beings, that being right next to each other, they wouldn't be like, whoa. Like, I feel this super deep connection with you. Don't know why. You know, like,
yeah.
I feel, you know, like, they didn't have, you know, I mean, obviously, like, it's the first movie, and they have to introduce concepts like that and everything. So,
yeah,
not mad, but like,
I mean, like, if you get like a modern day, like reinterpretation of what the original trilogy was, like kind of like what it was, change a couple details, given like the mythos that has officially been built, like to this point, Luke and Leia are a dyad. Like that would have happened. Like if you were to, in theory, rewrite them, like that would have made perfect sense. Like there's almost no way that wouldn't have happened.
It's just interesting that a lot of like the just great shows or movies just involve incest in some way. It's just super strange. Why? Don't know. Like, rather it not be in there, but like in this case, like it's a very mild form.
Yeah, minute.
It's really not even.
It's not like an aunt and uncle fucking, or a brother and sister fucking, or like a one Game of Thrones.
Yeah, just a smooch,
Just a smooch.
To prove a point to a dickhead at the time that turned into this. Yeah, I mean it's beautiful. It's a beautiful plot arc,
and there's just no character who like there's only one character who rivals Leia for me in terms of like being the good, just always there, and it's just like, how could you not love her? And it's Ahsoka. You got her. Like that's the only other person who it's like, inarguably. I don't know how. I don't know how
has Ahsoka let like anyone down. I mean, other than leaving the Jedi Order, but honestly,
she did that for her. She had to. I get it.
Like, yeah, she's letting the Jedi down, but like, understand, like, yeah, fuck them at that point, yeah. So like, she's still doing the right thing. Like, she's really just never let anyone down ever.
Well, and that's another thing that I think Leia and Ahsoka have in common. They're far and away the most independent thinking of the franchise. Like they think for themselves, know what they decide to them what would be best for the people, and are like, I'm going to do all I can to pursue that.
Honestly, that is just what every woman in Star Wars is just like that. Hera Syndulla, Rey, Padme.
She was so close. Rey was so close. Yeah. I found myself like only considering, like I thought of Han and Obi-Wan, but outside of that, I was going Padme, Leia, Ahsoka, Hera, Rey. Like I was all over the place, and I even almost went like, I thought Rose Tico at one point, because she has one line that's just like, it defines the whole franchise when she's like, if we like, I can't even remember what it is in this moment, but I remember the like sentiment, and I was just like, fuck, I love her.
Yeah, it's I'm glad that even back in 77 or whatever the year was, that they still had an independent like woman role. And they gave Leia like just that role to have, because she just killed it, man. Like Carrie Fisher just killed the role.
Nah, she was fantastic. I'm hard pressed for a character who I enjoy more. I don't think there's I found the Rose Tico quote. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate, saving what we love. And like that line, like that truly defines all of Star Wars for me. And like I think Leia embodies that. I think Ahsoka, I mean, to a point, embodied that. Like that Rebel scene where she's fighting with Anakin, she's like, I won't leave you, not this time. Like, I'm gonna save what I love. That's the goal. Obviously he was Vader, so they're fighting, but
Vader is still Vader.
She was trying.
Vader, not really a comfort character, but
yeah. I almost went Anakin, but I was like, no. Not a lot of comfort provided for me through Anakin. In fact, I'm mostly sad.
Yeah, it is just mostly really sad. Yeah.
Until the end there. But alas, let's move on to these TV shows. What do you say?
I'm ready.
I say this one, let's kind of let's do you list your 5 one at a time, and let's just get like, you get a quick blurb in, because I really want to talk about the movies. We took 45 minutes on the
so the a lot of my shows are cartoons.
Love it.
Actually every single one of them is animated.
Fuck yeah.
There's not one live action one on here, actually. but it's kind of hard to order these. I'll start with number 5. This one is number 5. Is Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Fuck yeah.
Even though it's kind of a creepy, weird vibe show, I somehow just every time it was on, I watched it, and I
did too, and I hated it.
Yeah, I hated it, but I loved it. It was such a
you're right. Yeah. There was a comfort to it.
It's so different than every other cartoon. Like the style of it, the sky was different every episode. You know, like it was just a really cool styled episode or show. But I snuck it on there, like, even though that it is weird, just because I watched it all the time.
Actually, you know what? I have plenty of time. I thought I was limited for time. I have plenty of time. Let's go back and forth. We're gonna do the full thing.
Okay. All right.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. I didn't go with all the Cartoon Network era ones. I thought about it, but we talked briefly before this, and I was like, he's gonna hammer at that nostalgia thing, so I'm gonna try and mix it up a little bit. So my 5 here is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes,
and this is the one that I explained in the Patreon would have one thing. It has a few that I enjoy. I love Sam Wilson becoming and Sam and Bucky's relation, so forth. But that last scene in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier at the party in New Orleans, I'm hard pressed to find a Marvel scene in all of Marvel that I enjoy more, that makes me more happy. Because like whenever On and On by Curtis Harding is just blaring in the background, you see all these people so overwhelmingly happy. Like everyone is just experiencing pure joy, and then you see Bucky and Sam, who have gone through a lot of shit recently, just looking out over the water, semi-embracing as much as these two military men will, and just like looking off in the distance, happy as hell. And you know, like I'm just like, God, fuck yeah, I love this. And so, and thus, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier gets my 5 spot here. Perhaps recency bias, maybe, but I love it.
Super underrated. Like this show deserves so much more attention than it gets.
It does, but nevertheless, let's hear your 4. Let's hear your 4 out.
These are very hard to put one above the other. These shows, they're all very nostalgic and very just great to me. But I would say Regular Show is going to be my 4.
Okay.
Regular Show is like, you can start the episode with a rock, paper, scissors battle, and you'll end with a intergalactic music dance off to save the universe. You know, like it's a show that truly can take you anywhere, and it's just funny, and they're very self-aware.
The Regular Show, and there's another animated series that's like right in the same vein as the Regular Show. I can't remember what it is. Adventure Time?
That is my number 3.
Okay,
actually.
Cool. We'll get those back to back, and then I'll go. I'm gonna say here, these two are perfect examples of shows that were probably pitched as adult entertainment for stoners, and then we're like, we could actually take this to Cartoon Network and make it for kids, just clean it up a little bit. Like, that show is made for people who smoke weed.
Oh, 100%. Like Adventure Time, and like the visuals literally that just happen sometimes with these shows are just like, oh, okay. Like
man, so I know what one of your top 2 is now. I don't know what the other is. But man, Adventure Time.
You actually do know both of them.
Well, I will know both of them, but like I have a firm idea of oh wait, no, I do know both of them.
Yeah.
I do know both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adventure Time and Regular Show, ones that like I'm glad you put, because I'm not well versed in them nearly enough to have put them. So I like,
man, dude. Adventure Time, like if you like, this is a show that you can actually sit down and watch. Like, there's actually like a story that goes like throughout. Like, if you like watch it actually, and it's like it can make you cry. Like, it will make you cry. Like, it will make you cry.
I'm in.
Like,
I'll give it a shot.
oh, it is. Oh, it's so good. Adventure Time is really good. Regular show is just something to put on when you just want to, just sit back, just relax, and have something wild go on screen.
I get you.
Like,
all right.
But yeah,
I'm glad those made this list here. All right. For my next one, I'm bouncing back between two animated things. One of them is going to make my list. The other is actually not even going to be my 3. It's just going to get bounced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane. What's the word I'm looking for?
Logic?
No, it just insane.
Stakes?
Wow. What?
Sophie's Choice?
An insane plot
Conundrum.
twist. It's like, but there's a word that's like an insane
Climax?
Maybe an insane.
I don't know.
Something. Yeah. What is an insane plot twist?
I ultimately, though, what I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go with The Bad Batch.
Fantastic show.
I would have gone with the Clone Wars. I would have gone with the Clone Wars. There's 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. However, I can say honestly that the visuals in the Bad Batch are what make it the comfort. Not so much. I mean, like the characters too. Omega was up there for one of my comfort characters. I almost threw her in my top 5. But the Bad Batch, I mean, fuck, dude. I mean, you can hear us raving about it for 16 straight episodes on the Bad Batch bitches. We loved that, and it is one that I can turn on pretty much any episode, and I'm guaranteed to be entertained, no matter what. And it is kind of that kick back, let it wash over me, and it's that melting pot of Star Wars, everything we love. Like it's perfect. It's a perfect animated series for me, and I can understand why it lost some people's attention there towards the end, but I don't know. I love the stakes of the story. I love all of Crosshair potentially returning and Hunter being taken in and all this shit, like Omega being hunted for and stuff. But like, I'm there less for the story and more for what it's become. Like, it's become a melting pot of everything we've seen throughout the Star Wars universe. And every week you're going to get something that makes you go, God damn, that reminds me of this. Damn, that reminds me of this.
It's where the animators wanted to be like 10 years ago. This is like, we have the technology now where we can animate how like truly like
to the vision.
Want it. Yeah, the vision is put on screen now, and there's very minimal distance between vision and what's on screen now, just with technology, whether it's live action or animation. And like the Bad Batch is just a perfect example. Like, this animation style is just so cool. The visuals are so great. Like the literal wallpaper shots that they do. Literally, like, just they just sit there for like 5 to 7 seconds. You're just sitting there looking at this landscape, or like, some cars driving on a highway, or the Star Wars equivalent, whatever a highway is called.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a very beautiful show, just very comfortable, definitely.
And ultimately, that's what propels it to be on this comfort show list for me. And frankly, for me, they went 16 for 16. There's not an episode I don't enjoy. I can't say that for the Clone Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are honestly episodes of the Clone Wars that I just wasn't that into.
That's true.
And obviously, tons more episodes. You're going to have that.
That was meant for TV. That was before streaming was a thing, and it was just a different time in TV. Now, like, we get shows that are really dive, deeper into, and really are. I don't know. I'm glad this is just a great era.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That we're in for TV.
And with that, I'm going to move on to my 3 since you leveled out the regular show and Adventure Time. Stranger Things.
What a show.
Yeah. And like it's been there for me since 2016 or whatever. I think it was 2016. And I remember I watched that the day it dropped. I didn't know why. I was just like, this looks cool. Fuck it. And then I was immediately like, I finished season 1 that day and I'm like, fuck. Oh, that was awesome. You know, like, and every year, the past couple years, whenever they were putting them out pretty regularly, when season 2 and 3 came, I was so excited for them. Like, I stayed up until 2 a.m., watched the first episode, went to bed and watched the next 9 the next day or whatever. Like,
Netflix hit like gold just with this cast. I think it's the cast, like the vibe of the show, like the 80s, just a
that's what knocks it out of the park too.
Epic era.
David Harbour, Winona Ryder, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Natalia Dreyer, and like Charlie Heaton.
Every character, every single character in this show like has a storyline. Like the only people who don't have a storyline are like the boring dad. That's just boring dad. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like literally, like
the mom. Fun fact: you will eventually see Mike and Mike's mom, the one who hits on Billy in season 2. You will see her in The Sopranos.
Really?
Yeah, Cara Buono.
Interesting.
Like 15 years younger.
Billy, that's another man.
Yeah. Stranger Things is the shit though. And
I don't blame her. But yeah, that's is it bigger? I'm curious because I think Squid Game is like approaching the numbers that Stranger Things was. Like Stranger Things has been the biggest thing on Netflix like forever. Like and nothing has come close. Like nothing. I think Squid Game is like almost approaching where Stranger Things was, which is kind of insane.
Well, every couple of years, there's something from Netflix that just goes fucking boom, you know, like and like that's what's crazy about Netflix too is they don't even know which one's gonna hit. They just put out so much shit that something is going to hit. And like I remember in 2018 or whatever, like Bird Box. Remember fucking Bird Box? Like that took over the internet for like 2 weeks, and I watched it and I was like, fucking for real? This is the most popular movie in the world right now. I mean, Squid Games is like the most relevant example right now. Obviously, that's been popping the fuck off. But yeah, Stranger Things, even before Bird Box, that was the Halloween costumes every year with 11 carrying the Eggos and having the jean jacket and the skirt and the long socks. Like that's the blonde wig, an iconic look, an iconic costume design. And that's something that Stranger Things brings to the table every single year, is that it's just the aesthetics. It's going to knock you off your fucking feet. I love Stranger Things, and
is there
I can't get enough of it.
Date on when the next season's coming out?
There is not. My theory, as it stands, we got the first season, which culminated around like Christmas, and then the second season was set around Halloween. This most recent season was 4th of July, and the timing of like their trailers and all this, my guess is Valentine's Day. I'm guessing February 2022.
100%. Oh yeah. Valentine, the boxes at school were oh yeah. Wait, are they
They're
in
high school
now?
They're probably not.
They're in high school now. Dang, that's crazy.
No, like they're gonna be like, I don't know.
They're old. Like
they're by the time like the 5th season could potentially come out, they would straight up be at. Like, they'll straight up be playing seniors in high school. I know they'll milk this shit as long as they can, but they will be college age playing seniors in high school.
That's crazy. That they're seniors like right now, like in real life, aren't they? Or maybe
17,
juniors,
16,
like junior,
17,
senior
18
age? Oh
in that
my
era.
Gosh, that's crazy. That's wild. Like just seeing how young they look in season 1. Like
Well, my thing is that if there's a chance, if there's like a moment in time at the end of season 3, they absolutely set themselves up so that they could go time gap. Like time passed. Okay. Like they are older now. Like I kind of hope that's what they do. But then again, you can't go too far into the future because then you lose what the Stranger Things has started as, the 80s. Like that's what it's about. And I can't imagine they
want to stray too far away from that
or stray too far into the 90s at all.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's hard. That's a tough decision. Like, I mean, you just kind of have to because the kids, like, I don't know. I mean, TV, like, you can make them look younger. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but like,
I trust whatever they're doing. They're gonna do something great, and whatever it is, it's gonna kick ass. Like Netflix knows that this is their like baby. This is their pride and joy. This is the best thing they've ever created. Like, and they need to hit it out of the park. Like, I don't know. Like this is a show where honestly they just can't fail. You just put these characters on screen for a couple of, like, however many episodes they give us, and we will love it no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. And I just looked through all the ages of the main kids. Millie Bobby Brown, 17. Finn Wolfhard, 18. Noah Schnapp, which is Will, 17. Gatton Matarazzo, who is Dustin, 19. And Caleb McLaughlin, who is oh shoot. What's his name in the show? Lucas. Lucas is 20.
Really?
Yeah. So like they have to do a time jump. Like you have no option. I'm pretty sure at the end of the last season, they were freshmen.
Ooh. They just like, depending on when they filmed though, because like they've all
had
just
this in the bag
like,
for a
their
while.
glow up. Like they all just hit their glow up, like their puberty, like, you know, like they all look like adults now, like in their face, like they have that grown up ish face now.
Especially Caleb McLaughlin and Dustin.
Yeah,
like holy shit,
they're starting to look grown up, and like there's just no way you can be like they're sophomores in high school.
That's a 15-year-old.
Yeah, like
because then we're getting into Riverdale territory, and boy,
yeah.
oh boy, is Riverdale hard to watch.
Yeah, those people who look like they've graduated college already.
Those are mid-20s to late 20s, and they are playing 15 and 16-year-olds. I can't stand it.
And like we know what Dylan's, or is that Cole?
That's Cole.
Yeah, we know what Cole looked like when he was young. Like, you know, we already have that info. So like there's already the disconnect. It's like,
already, instantly. You're telling me Lily Reinhart is 15.
Yeah, that show.
You're telling me KJ Apa is 15. Like, none of these characters are 15.
If that's what 15-year-olds look like, whoa.
I'm going to cut that out.
Yeah, that was... that.
What's your two?
Yeah, my two. This one is a new show. Pretty brand new. It comes from Marvel, and it is What If, and it has been my comfort show ever since it's come out. I've just rewatched every episode over and over. Maybe an emphasis on the last two that I watch more often than others for reasons that I think you guys understand.
If you've been with us for a while, you know Joe's kind of hooked on Ultron.
But the show overall is just, I don't know. As a Marvel fan, it's just pure, it's What If. It just doesn't matter. You know, it's just awesome storytelling. It's just, sorry, I bumped the mic there, but it's fantastic. I don't know.
It's just all out there.
I cannot wait for season 2. Or just whatever they're doing with the show. I cannot wait. Like,
it's going to be fantastic. I mean, like, I love season 1, and it's probably, I mean, the comic series itself been going on for decades now. Like, it was one of the best ideas Marvel ever had, to have something that's like, fucking, what if we did that? You know, like people were in the writer's room going, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? And they were like, hold the fuck up. What if we just did an idea for all of these?
What if we can literally do whatever we want? Literally. We have infinite possibility.
It's fantastic. And that's the advantage of multiverse in all of comic book media.
This is a money move. They saw this and they were like, oh, anything we want? Millions of dollars?
Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay.
We'll make it happen. But nah, dude. I mean, we had a couple episodes covering our feelings on What If. Me and Aurora talked it along with Shang-Chi back a few weeks ago. I think that was episode 131, and then we got together to discuss the back half of What If, episodes 6 through 9 on episode 137.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a lot of fun. But
just a beautiful show.
It's just a wonderful show. Yeah, if you want more on What If, you better get your ass over there and check out those episodes. We're trying to get the listens.
Mm-hmm.
But hell yeah, that's a great one. And for the first time in a little bit, I'm gonna stray away from the comic book stuff or Star Wars stuff. I'm going How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
This is the first show I ever binged. I was 14. And I was ready for a show. You know, I was like, you know what? Let's watch something nice and easy. I'll breeze through it. It was back when it was on Netflix. And I watched that show several times through very fast. Like, I loved that show. And I couldn't tell you exactly what. I think more than anything, you know, I think I enjoy How I Met Your Mother more than Friends, and I think it's because the 90s feels like a period piece to me, while How I Met Your Mother feels more modern. I think that's really it. Like, I think that's just the bottom line, and that's why How I Met Your Mother resonates more with me, and so on and so forth. And the fact that the story is being told to kids in the future made me feel like, the story is just being told to me about 2005, and I was basically there, you know, but... It's a lot of fun, and
I don't know why, but the like title alone just never made me watch the show. I don't know why.
I can't blame you. No, I got the reason I ever watched it was actually because a friend of mine showed me a random episode, and like I'm glad they showed me this episode at this specific time because maybe I watched completely different. Television,
because I was like under the idea like, oh, this is just like an adult show, like How I Met Your Mother. Like, I don't know, I just was like, this is just an adult show. It came on a lot like after 2.5 Men for some reason. Like after dinner, 2.5 Men would always come on right after we'd have dinner, and we like my family would just sit down and watch it. And then after 2.5 Men, How I Met Your Mother would come on. But that's when I went upstairs. So like I always like associated How I Met Your Mother with just like, oh, I'm done.
Adult time.
You know, yep, I'm done. You know, I'm going back up to my room now. So it's like that's why I've just never watched it. Like
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Now I can't recommend it enough. It's personally probably my favorite sitcom of all time, and there's certainly a degree of nostalgia that goes with that. It is the first one that I binged. You know, like all the way through. And I mean, I caught episodes of Friends and I caught episodes of that 70s show prior to that, but I never watched them. You know what I mean? And after How I Met Your Mother, I can owe it all to How I Met Your Mother. Like my obsession with TV, my obsession with entertainment. Like that's what started it, and it took off from there. I just love that show, the ups and downs, and it's one of the first shows, like and across all the sitcoms I can really, as far as I can tell, that is not afraid of the callback, but not just the callback to earlier this episode or last week or two weeks ago. a full on ongoing long running joke that has happened every single season. At some point they bring it up, and it's always a reference to the first time it happened in season 1. You get one in season 8, and it's like, damn, you feel like you're a part of this the crew because you are in on the shit they reference, and I enjoy stuff like that.
Sounds fun. Yeah, that does sound
it's
fun.
a lot of fun. I can't recommend it enough. But yeah, I don't have much else to say, and I've talked about it a couple times on the podcast. I couldn't tell you what episode, it was so long ago, but yeah, that's my number 2. What you got at number 1?
Number 1, and I feel so bad that I didn't think of this while I was making my list. But now that it was brought up, it's so obviously my number 1, and it's Tom and Jerry. I don't know of another show that I just mindlessly consumed at just levels that was probably unhealthy. Tom and Jerry was always on for the longest span of time. If it's on, Tom and Jerry's on forever. You can watch it for so long.
That was my shit.
I
had a
even have to
DVD.
say a word. That's the thing.
No.
The show doesn't even have to say a word. And it's fantastic.
I had these DVDs, Tom and Jerry DVDs, and one of them was Tom and Jerry with a crystal ball in front of them. I can't even remember what it was called now, but that was one of them. And then another one was at a golf course, and they ran around the hole and dove in and stuff, and et cetera, et cetera. But dude, Tom and Jerry was my shit when I was younger. I think, and what's so fascinating and what makes me so proud of that is the fact that it didn't have words and stuff, and that it is really the last cartoon the way that it is, and we got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
It was on while we were alive, because
true.
That was more in the vein of earlier Looney Tunes and shit like that, from the 70s
Classic
and 80s and
cartoons.
90s.
Yeah.
And we Tom and Jerry was still going on, and we got to watch it when we were younger. So that made me feel like I was a part of something really cool as I got a little bit older, when I was I don't know, 7, 8, and I was still watching Tom and Jerry. I'm like, God damn, I feel like this is something people watched a long time ago. But yeah, my little brothers, they didn't watch Tom and Jerry. They don't even fuck with it. They didn't want to. Yeah. Nobody speaks in this.
Wow. I don't know. It's they're forced to be so much more creative because they can't speak. They're just forced to do things in such creative ways. And just everything is just I don't know. And just how, I don't know, there's always an outsmart in every episode. There's always, little tricks that are just super creative, ways. I don't know. It's just it is just a comfort show. Maybe it's this. Is there music in the background that normally plays that I'm
that's what they do. They had the wah 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 bum 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 that went with their motions and added and that's what makes it so creative is it's an ensemble of things. It's not and without the voice acting, and it's still getting the message across. Exactly how Tom and Jerry are feeling at any given moment. You know what the beef is. You know what's happening.
You know the beef. It's on site.
It's on site. They're ready to fight.
I guess there are some times where they do respect each other, but usually it's after a long day where they're just exhausted and they just can't.
I always admired that they also had a solidarity when it came to other other people fucking with them. It was nah, this mouse is mine to fuck with, and I fuck with that cat.
It's Tom and Jerry out here.
Yeah, it's Tom and Jerry.
No one else.
Come around this way, you will be clapped. Fuck yeah, man. That's a great number 1. That's a fantastic number 1.
And it's on HBO.
It is on HBO.
Right next to The Sopranos, way back to tie in The Sopranos once more real quick. Just to get a mention in there. So I'll just have it right along The Sopranos, just one click away. I'll have it right there.
Hell yeah. My number 1 is The Mandalorian. directed by Jon Favreau, written by Jon Favreau, who appears in The Sopranos. It's
Of course.
of course, the first live action Star Wars show, you know, and every episode, it's what the Bad Batch brings me, but even more authentic because it's live action. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm watching Star Wars at its finest here. And I don't mean to say even more authentic because it's live action, but I mean, like, I feel like I did when I was watching the movies because of it being live action.
Mm-hmm. And you got Grogu in there.
And you got Grogu in there. And I got to tell you, if there is any episode that has, like, become a comfort episode, it's the one you were talking about earlier, where he eats the eggs and they're chased by spiders and stuff. Like, I don't know why, but I revisit that episode so much, and I love it.
Yeah, whenever I go back and watch The Mandalorian, you'd think I would just watch the finale and, you know, just watch Luke go off. But, like, usually it's just, like, the cuter moments of, like, you know, Din becoming a dad and, you know, like,
and there's a certain
better at it and
there's a certain rewatch, like, when it comes to Luke coming up in that finale, I enjoyed and loved the way I felt so much the first time I watched it. I'm like, I don't even really need to rewatch it.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
I remember that scene.
Yes.
I don't need to rewatch it. Like that, the feeling I got the first time I watched that, unmatched by any other media I've ever watched. Like, only thing that ever came close was Captain America throwing Mjolnir in Endgame. That was the only thing that ever made me go, oh, fuck yeah, the way that this did.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. This was a moment in film that is just a cut above. Like while watching, like, I was crying, I was smiling, I was just every emotion
all over my body.
Literally every emotion possible was just like, okay, this is why I love Star Wars, like, for right here. Like,
and there was this other thing too, is that, like, I personally love the Luke Skywalker we got in The Last Jedi. I think that's a great version of that character. I also just hadn't seen this Luke Skywalker, though. In my lifetime, that wasn't put on screen. This Luke Skywalker in the prime of his ability and stuff. And seeing him pop up and it being like, it was just a shock. Cause, like, going into season 2, I'm like, I mean, in theory, it would make sense if, Luke showed up and took Grogu, but I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was like, that's just, like, how would they even make that happen? They're not going to make that happen. There's no way.
And then they said it's a single X-Wing. And from that moment on, man, like,
you got it.
The single X-Wing, I'm like, Luke? Like, that was like the what? But
then when he's pulling in and Grogu's ears perk up, bro, I was like, oh, fuck.
But then whenever the line came out, like, one X-Wing, and, like, that's never going to be enough.
Saved.
Like, yeah, or like that. I was like, oh, it's our man. Like, come on. It is the dude. There's no one else it could be at this moment. Like, and then, like, the official freak out was whenever I saw green. Like, whenever the green,
whenever he walked on the screen and it was the black glove holding the saber, green glowing, and the sound, of the lightsaber, and then, fuck, man, that's just the most, there's not a lot. And then, like, the way it's capped off, beyond the Luke Skywalker thing, it's the most emotional scene in the show because of Din saying goodbye to Grogu.
Cried like a baby, bro.
Holy like,
crap.
I can't tell you the emotion, like, I can't tell you how emotional I got when Din took off his helmet and this man had tears in his eyes. He was not wanting to say goodbye to this baby, and he knew he had to. And boy, oh boy, did that fuck me up.
It was very, like, they developed that father-son relationship so hard just for that moment. and it's like it's so brutal. Like we got so connected, and then they're like, well,
and they'll see each other again. He promised. He promised.
He has to, right?
He has to. He promised.
Kylo doesn't kill him.
No, I really don't think that happened. Just because, like,
they can't kill the kid.
I think, well, not just that. I just think it would be a really anticlimactic part of Grogu's story. It's like, well, obviously that's what we would think would happen. Because
you want to know what actually happened?
I'm guessing Din comes and picks him up before then.
Grogu is the one who actually turned evil, burnt down the village, and then Kylo was like, seize the opportunity, Vader, he was a cool guy. Let me maybe try to be like him. I don't know. This Jedi shit's kind of boring. And
it was me. I did it.
So there's Darth Grogu out there somewhere, or Darth Grogu. Yeah, Darth Grogu. It doesn't really roll.
Yeah,
doesn't really.
He'll
work.
figure it out though.
Doesn't really roll like Darth Jar Jar. Darth Jar Jar rolls so well that it's like an actual believable theory. But Darth Grogu, he's just too nice of a guy.
I'd even venture the statement that Darth Binks is hard.
Ooh, Count Binks, Count Jar Jar, Darth Binks, Darth Jar Jar,
Emperor Binks.
Ooh, Supreme Leader Binks. Binks hits hard, bro.
Binks is dope. I don't know why I haven't considered that.
He's got a good family name.
But hell yeah, I'm ready to move on to movies. And
yes.
You know what? I'll kick it off.
Okay.
I'll kick it off here with my 5 because it is so relevant. The Phantom Menace, Darth Binks.
Let's go.
I love The Phantom Menace. It is far and away the most nostalgic Star Wars movie for me. I remember like being in awe whenever the smoke is pouring out of the room, the protocol droid comes waddling out like, oh my. And then you see the blue and green sabers and it's just like, gah, this is the shit. And
pod racing,
Padme, the reveal. Dude, the fact that Padme could shield her true identity from Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Goated.
Yo, she's got some strong fucking will right there.
Goated.
That's a strong woman.
Shows how independent
because they're
her mind
Jedi.
Is. Yep.
They're Jedi. They like can literally sense when you're lying.
Not Padme.
But yeah, and then I mean, to contrast the Mandalorian talk when we say he has to come back, he promised, and he does promise his mother, "I'm gonna come back and free you." And boy, oh boy, did that not work out. She freed herself, got married.
Technically, he freed her from life.
I mean, he was there for her in the end.
Yeah. I mean, he did. Well, yeah, he didn't. Well, he pretty much killed his mom. It was pretty much his own doing. Like, it's all his fault. It's all Palpatine's fault, actually.
Yeah, it's Palpatine's.
It's not Anakin's fault. It's not Anakin's fault. He killed them kids, though. And I don't think his mom would really stand for that too much longer. So.
Women and the children, too. It's actually interesting. I'm reading that Kenobi novel, and they give you a Tusken Raider character who you follow. And, like, you get the thoughts of, and you see the inner workings of Tusken tribes. And it is really interesting because, like, mixing it with the Mandalorian and what we've seen in the movies and what I'm reading now, it's so weird whenever Tuskens are framed so evil. Because, like, I've seen what happens when you just talk to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're very territorial.
Well, and that's a part of this book, is that, like, one of them sees a woman, like a human woman, do well with a bantha, like tell a bantha where to go and stuff, because I guess the thing is that humans can't control banthas, but Tusken Raiders can, like, really get along. So he sees that this woman can do this with this bantha and goes, holy shit, hold up. Maybe she's cool. Maybe she's one of us. So, like, it really is just like, hey, you got to relate to them a little bit and then they'll be cool. Like, you just got to, you can't just whip out the lightsaber and chop off all their heads.
They just got a creepy scream, you know? Yeah, it's like, I mean, that would haunt my nightmares if that was real in my universe, you know? I mean,
yeah.
and like the gun in front, like, yeah, but understandably, yeah, just sit down and do a little hand motion and
Yeah.
good to go.
Oh, yeah. See, and I love the Phantom Menace though. I can't get enough of it. It's definitely. I mean, it's not the prequel movie I've revisited the most, but it's on its way there. And I will say there's probably a degree of like a weird recency bias here. I've only come to truly appreciate the Phantom Menace within the last like couple years. I've always fucked with the other movie that I'm talking about.
It's my
Phantom
number 5.
Menace,
we'll just go ahead and
Revenge
of the
Sith.
ahead. Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, we'll just go
Oh
ahead.
hell yeah!
And get
Like
it out
these
there.
are the two. I mean, Attack of the Clones solid, but these two stand out far and away in the prequel trilogy for me. Just because I mean, the one that starts it and the one that ends it. Like it's just like they're always like. Ironically enough, because The Empire Strikes Back is considered the best of the original trilogy, which is kind of strange, but interesting things to think about.
Why
I'm
is
just
it?
Pondering.
I
get it. I do.
I really think Return of the Jedi is just like, why is that like just not? I don't know. I feel like Return.
More on that later.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I like I don't know. I don't know like why Empire is just always considered. I mean, it is just really good.
It's fucking good. It's fucking
now
good.
that I think about like
and
all
like
the teens
if
that
you
are
look
in
at
there.
it objectively, it has the biggest twist in cinematic history. Like one of the biggest twists in cinematic history.
Now that I'm like looking at
we're
what
born
happens
knowing
in that movie.
Yeah, but like if you're just like watching it in and of itself, that's a reveal, you know, and huge.
Now I get it now. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, it's the other prequel movie that, you just come back to. It's Anakin versus Obi-Wan, the fight that, me and my brother reenacted 500 times. I'm Obi-Wan, he's Anakin. He was the one with the anger management problems, so it fit. I was the one who was always just collected and didn't really have to want to fight, so it fit that I was the Obi-Wan.
Made sense.
And we would eventually play, role play so hard, the floor was lava. We put pillows down to like jump onto the things that would like float.
Yeah.
And so I jumped off the couch onto my floaty thing, and I landed on my leg so wrong that my femur snapped in half. And that's how I broke my leg when I was 7 or 6 or something years old. Yeah,
Damn.
We were reenacting that fight, and I was jumping onto my floaty thing as Obi-Wan, lightsaber in hand, and bam, femur snapped in half.
Man.
Should have drank more milk.
That's an interesting Star Wars what if. What if Obi-Wan jumped onto that cliff and broke his fucking leg?
Exactly. Could have happened. What if Obi-Wan didn't drink a lot of milk,
It's true. It's true.
What if he did? What if he couldn't cushion his fall with, force ability?
Yeah. I mean, the Revenge of the Sith is just a masterpiece, though, and I do think there's one thing I have that's a complaint about Revenge of the Sith, and it's what they left out of the movie. I wish we would have got the Padme Amidala scenes where she's planting the seeds for the rebellion. Like those scenes are like left out, and they would have been fantastic to have even that further parallel between Leia and Padme being the generals of the rebellion.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's got that. I mean, just like that. Just the quotes between Anakin and Obi-Wan, like at the end there, are just so ingrained into my brain. Like it's like one of the only movie quotes that I know like by heart. Revenge of the Sith and Dark Knight are probably the only two movies that I can quote like a lot of the movie. And obviously, like, you turn her against me. Like, from that point on, like, everyone knows all that.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. It's just what a movie, man.
Not that business on Kato Naimoida. That doesn't count.
Man, it's definitely my most comfortable Star Wars movie is Revenge.
I get that. Mm-hmm. So that's the only Star Wars one you'll have.
Yeah, it is the only.
I'll have one more. but not for a while. The 4 here for me is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is one that I actually didn't discover until like 2018, and as I stated in the Patreon, there was a stint in 2018 where I was horribly depressed. I happened upon this movie during that horrible stint, and I watched it 9 nights straight. Like that was the level of comfort it was bringing me, and for that, it will always hold a special place in my heart. I love Michael Cera; he's funny as hell. I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's awesome, and I love her in Birds of Prey as the Huntress. But there's just so much to love about the movie. The video game aesthetic and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I don't have much else to say about it, honestly. It's just a fun movie, and it makes me happy. That's kind of it.
Yeah, definitely a movie that is visited often. Just a movie that can just be thrown on and very comfortable. I didn't think about it, but now that you say it is definitely a comfort movie of my own. I think for a lot of people, just like Michael Cera, like those like group of guys, like the like Super Bad, like the
Scott
Michael
Cera, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Bill Hader,
like that type, like those are always like super like fun movies just to like throw back on
that like so many of those almost made this list. I almost threw like Pineapple Express and Superbad and all this shit. Like it all almost made it. It all almost made it.
Ooh,
what's your 4 here?
It's Robots.
Oh man, on HBO too, same as The Sopranos.
Let's go. Same as The Sopranos, obviously. You know, one of the just wow, what a show. Tying back into Robots though. Rodney freaking Copperbottom, the coolest coolest freaking robot in town. He's basically an engineer, like what I'm growing up to be. This dude, I looked up to this dude.
Yeah.
Rodney was my man. Had Robin Williams as like his best friend. That performance was freaking amazing.
Dude, he killed everything.
And like
he was so good.
This movie is just so creative. Like the most comfort scene in the movie is whenever Rodney gets to whatever the town is called. What's the big guy called?
I couldn't tell you. I haven't seen Robots in years.
God, the big guy. He's like, the big Robots cast. And okay, Robin Williams played Fender. Okay. Gotcha. I remember Fender. Aunt Fanny. Oh, you gotta remember Aunt Fanny, bro.
Aunt Fanny.
Gotta remember Aunt Fanny. Oh my. Big Weld. That was the big dude with the big company.
Yeah.
And that's who Rodney took over. But whenever he got to the city and then like he was put in the like little circle thing, and then they like it was basically like a Rube Goldberg machine. They were just flying through the city, like like going through all these like slingshots and holes and like tracks that like led like I don't know, it was just super cool and like
hell yeah.
I don't know, I just that movie's just it's a vibe. It's it'll never get old. That DVD was so scratched up because we watched it so much. Like that DVD's been through like hell. Like we had to buy so many copies of this movie. Like,
I love those movies. I got a few of them, but like first one that comes to mind, this isn't on my list. Scratched up DVD, Megamind. Dude, I love me some Megamind.
What a movie. Ahead of its time, honestly.
Well, that's what's crazy. What's crazy about Megamind is that like that's like really a kid's movie. That came out when I was like 12. Like that wasn't like.
Wait, really? That came out in 2012?
I'm thinking it was later. Like it wasn't like it wasn't aughts. It was definitely the 10.
10?
Oh, it was 2010 on the dot?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better about it.
Dang. Ahead of its time. That felt
5th grade.
That feels like a 2018 movie. Like honestly.
It really does. Like, you watch that, it's aged like fine wine, bro.
It's good.
It's fantastic.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, that's not on my list. I just love that movie. But yeah, robots. That's and I mean like robots.
It's robots,
It's
man.
robots.
His dad's a dishwasher of all things. He's a dishwasher robot, and he was destined to be Rodney was destined to be a dishwasher. Oh no, no, no.
One would argue that dishwashers are already robots.
Yeah, why don't they just have a dishwasher? Like, why did it have to be a robot? Why do you have to have a dishwasher on him? Why couldn't he just... Plot hole? Scratch this. This movie doesn't belong in this... No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I fucking hate this movie. The
Yeah.
logic is completely
sucks.
flawed.
No, but at school, like, we have this running joke that, like, my friends hate the dad because he's just a dishwasher, and, like, they, like, make fun of him for no reason. Like, it's just, like, for no reason, they just hated on him for no reason. They all just played along.
I love when that happens,
Yeah,
though.
like,
That
they all
shit's
just
so
played along,
funny.
like, oh, this guy, fuck this guy, he's just a dishwasher. Like, who does he think he is? Like, you know, it's just, like, for no reason, just hate on him. So,
I
like,
love that. That's so fucking funny.
yeah, like it's such a comfort movie that I brought it into school and then somehow made the dad the most like empathetic character, you know, that you feel bad for. He's a dishwasher, you know, he's like working, you know, to support his family, and like they make fun of him, you know, like whatever, you know. But yeah, what a comfort movie. I could watch
I
that
love that.
over and
I love
over.
that. My three. I love me a good musical. I do. I went La La Land here.
Okay.
This is one that combines the visuals with some really good music and fantastic performances. I love Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. And John Legend is in the movie at some points. It's really fucking good. And I remember I took a chance on it when I watched it. I was like, I'm not really into musicals, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and it looks like it'll be pretty to watch. And fuck, man, I've liked musicals ever since. I be fucking with a musical. And it's those are like, that's like the comfort genre. If there's a genre of movie that'll make you go, like, it's musicals, rom-coms, and holiday movies. Those are the most comfortable films there are.
I got to give it a shot then. Yeah, I'm not. I've just stayed away from musicals. I don't know why. Like, I've seen like Hairspray, Grease.
Yeah.
You know, like the classics.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's solid. And I mean, like, it was kind of between this and The Greatest Showman for me. I love The Greatest Showman too. Just because, I mean, the Wolverine is the main character and he's singing his fucking ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's actually him singing.
He's a talented man.
That's actually him, yeah.
Hugh Jackman is a fucking stud in every way. The Greatest Showman is actually my number 3 now that I think about it.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, La La Land, it's just really, really well done. And fantastic. I can't say enough about it. But what's your number 3?
You know, this is like definitely my number 1, but I'm just gonna say it now just because like these other two deserve like the spotlight. And this one is just so obvious that I'm just gonna say it. Like it's just Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Doc Ock is just it's hard between Spider-Man 1 and 2. Like Doc Ock, I feel like is the popular like villain that's most liked the most. But like I don't know, I loved like the Green Goblin.
It's been Green Goblin for me all my life.
Yeah,
it's been Norman Osborn.
Like I just kind of like Spider-Man 1 and 2. I just group as like one big movie, and Spider-Man 3 is like the separate thing. Kind of, it's still a great movie, and it should not just get the hate that it has just because of the Tobey Maguire scenes or whatever.
Okay, I do think that like that catches unnecessary shit.
Yeah.
I do think, however, Spider-Man 3 is like far and away the worst movie.
Oh, for sure.
I don't mean that it's bad,
sure.
but it's definitely the worst.
Oh yeah, but like Spider-Man 1 and 2, I feel like I'll kind of group them together in this.
Okay,
I really can't choose between the two. But I mean, it's just like it's what I grew up on. It's what I consumed. Like I literally like probably 50% of my day was just watching Spider-Man as a kid. Like these movies just over and over. I don't know how I did it. I never got tired of it. It's just like
no. I mean, it was Spider-Man and Batman animated series all fucking day for me.
I think I have to just go with the first one because like whenever Toby's drawing like the concepts for the suits, like that's what got me into drawing like in the first place. Like I actually like started to draw because of that, and like like so many things like happened because of this movie. Like I got into the WWE because of Bonesaw and like that. Like I thought like, ooh, this is kind of like in Spider-Man, so maybe I'll like this. So like I started watching the WWE. Like so many things stem from this movie. Like
dude, and there's just so many scenes that stand out amongst that original Raimi trilogy because like I think about him drawing the suit and him in the wrestling ring and him learning how to use his powers when he gets
in his
stung
room,
and
just
like
webs everywhere. He's getting the lamp,
Yeah.
the Coke bottle or whatever, like him swinging for the first
Fly.
time. Yeah. Go, Web, go. Yeah.
Go, Web, go.
Oh, man.
No, it's fantastic. And I mean, and Norman Osborn's just fantastic. Willem Dafoe is a great actor. I've seen some people fan casting him as the Joker and Robert Pattinson's
Would be sick.
Batman. Would be sick.
Do you is there a Joker in there, like confirmed?
There might be one day, but I think they're gonna do their best to focus on other villains for a while because Joker's kind of been beat over the head.
And they need to hit with a Joker. If you have a Joker, it needs to hit. Like it's ambitious to have a Joker in the first one.
It's true.
Yeah,
but since you talk Spider-Man, I mean it's only right that I say my two. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm glad it's up there.
No, I mean, like, unquestionably, I mean, I love Spider-Man 2 and I love Spider-Man 1. But ever since the first time I watched Into the Spider-Verse, I fell in love with that movie, dude. Like, that's my favorite comic book movie, period. And Miles Morales' story is just, that's one of the best origin films there's ever been.
Yeah. This is like, when was the like story of Miles Morales created? Like, is it a new development or is this like been in comics for a while?
I mean, not incredibly long. Miles Morales isn't like a storied historic character. I'll look into when his first appearance was, but I don't even think it goes back to the 90s. Like this is a 2000s creation for sure.
That's what I thought. But I'm just very glad that it's like been a thing now, and like we have all these games and
2011.
Wow.
Actually.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. But very glad with this development. It's definitely a win for Marvel. And I hope they can continue with it with all these rights and stuff, and with Sony and all that. I don't know like how that's gonna work, but
well, I mean, there was official title release for Spider-Man 2. It's like Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, really? It's like confirmed?
Yeah, like they announced the title.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's Across the Spider-Verse. So like we're going to be skipping around, I think. And I mean the end of that movie would lead you to believe that Spider-Gwen has somehow figured out multiversal travel and opens a portal and greets Miles like, "Hey, want to hang out?" I love that movie, and that Peter Parker, voiced by Jake Johnson, I mean, might be like my favorite Peter Parker. I mean, Tobey Maguire will always hold a special place in my heart, but I love seeing the worn down, beaten up, on the verge of giving up Spider-Man who regains his hope through a child which is the very reason he's in this low spot.
That is a beautiful movie. Like,
oh, dude,
man.
It's fantastic.
Wow.
And I mean, not even to mention Miles' uncle. Like,
what
like that whole
the story, the twists, like man, what I don't think I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Dude, you should.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's one that I revisit. I'd say almost monthly. Like I watched the shit out of that movie.
That is a good movie, and like the fluidity, like his frame rate getting better and better as the movie goes on. Like just like the little, like
And I'm not gonna cap with you. the scene where, I mean, you know, where Kingpin stomps on Chris Pine's Peter Parker, and then the news when like it's like the song "I'm Not Scared of the Dark" by like Ty Dolla $ign, and it's like it's showing everybody in New York reacting. Bro, I cried. And I was like, I didn't even know this Spider-Man. That's just how important Spider-Man is to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this guy showed up in the movie for 2.5, 3 minutes. He died and I cried.
Damn. That's it's crazy what like Marvel can how ingrained like and invested we are like in these universes, and how a simple 3-minute character can make us cry. Like that's wild. Great. Sign of a great movie. That's for sure.
100%. End of the Spider-Verse is my favorite comic book movie, and is far and away the most comforting for me. But yeah, what's your two? What's your two here?
Number 2. Oh, this is so hard to pick between these two. You know one of them, you don't know the other. The one you know, I think, just has to be my number 1. It's just so good. But this one's also so great. I'll go with, okay. My number 2 is going to be WALL-E. WALL-E is by far the best Pixar movie out, and you can't... Okay, Soul is the only competitor in my opinion.
That was the one that came... That was the one that came to mind.
Even Toy Story 2, it doesn't come close to WALL-E and Soul. WALL-E and Soul are a step above every other Pixar movie, and you can't change my mind about that. But WALL-E, like, I'm just a sci-fi nerd, and like this Pixar sci-fi movie just like fell into my lap, you know, and like
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. That if there's any Pixar movie I need to rewatch, it's WALL-E. Because I don't think I've watched that in like 7 or 8 years. And I would appreciate it more now than I ever did.
Oh my God, it's so good. And it's like, the whole plot is that WALL-E finds a plant, a bot detects it, and then like humanity is now informed that like, oh, we used to live on Earth and like care for it. And like we really fucked up. Like that's the whole movie. Like
no, see, and that's the thing is that like the last time I watched it, I couldn't comprehend it. Mm-hmm. Like so, like I need to rewatch it, let it hit me, and bawl my fucking eyes out. Frankly,
so beautiful. Oh, the visuals! Like this, WALL-E is ahead of its time. Like if WALL-E was released now. Like it would
it'd be one of the biggest movies.
Like I don't know. This movie's just beautiful. I watched it's my favorite Pixar movie by far. Other than Soul. Soul was like close to making it up here. But I figured 2 Pixar
Soul came
movies
so close to getting on my list too.
Yeah, I figured 2 Pixar movies was a little too much, but I mean it does make sense why Pixar movies would be our comfort movies, you know. I mean, it's
100%.
So much of our childhood.
I mean, we've grown up with pretty much every Pixar movie except for the first couple Toy Stories. Like,
yeah,
we were there.
We were there. I cried Toy Story 3, man. In that theater, 3D glasses, cried through them, man. Yeah, it was.
They held hands, and I was done.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God, that incinerator! Oh my God.
Dude, I was like. They straight up like took each other's hands, and I was like, "They're gonna
die,
kill the toys,
like they're gonna die. Like that's a thing that can happen in this movie right now." Yeah, no, but
the claw
goats, the goats, bro. If who saved them? Who was?
It was the little Martians.
No, but who initially saved them in the claw game initially? Like. Who took care of him as their dad? Was it
Mr. Potato Head.
It was Mr. Okay, it was him. Yeah, that's right. If Mr. Potato Head would have never saved him at the beginning and you know brought him up, would have maybe they would have actually died there. Crazy thought.
It's a potentiality.
What if Pixar?
What if Pixar?
That'd be awesome.
Oh my God, that'd be outstanding. Fuck yeah, man. All right, we up to the ones?
We're up to the ones. Wow.
Mine's easy. This was like it was always the one. There was no question. It was just figuring out what the other four were, and it's Return of the Jedi.
God,
I've
what a good
oozed over
movie.
this movie time and time and time again. It's the perfect conclusion to that trilogy. That last shot, that last entire 5 minutes. There's no cinema that puts a smile on my face quite like
It's
that.
the best Luke. Like the Luke, it's
No,
my favorite
I mean, like,
Luke. It's
It's
like,
my favorite Luke. It's my favorite Leia.
Oh.
It's my favorite Han. It's Han at his most developed at this point.
This is why I believe like Return of the Jedi is the best Star Wars movie. Like if I have to pick like the best Star Wars movie, like I really like I don't know.
There's also probably something to be said for prequel babies loving Return of the Jedi because of Anakin coming back to the light side. Like there's probably something more impactful about that to kids born in the prequel era than it was to people who grew up with the original trilogy. Like, and it's a weird thing, but that's something about Return of the Jedi that probably makes it more impactful for kids who grew up watching Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's just a beautiful movie, man. Like the green, knowing that that's Qui-Gon's crystal for sure, and Obi-Wan's lightsaber parts. You know, it's a mixture of Anakin's saber and Obi-Wan's saber with Qui-Gon's crystal, bro. Like,
it's perfect.
And that, I don't know, man. It's just like, it's a beautiful movie. That's the Luke I looked up to. Like, that's the cool guy Luke that I was like,
that's cool man Luke over there.
That's cool guy. Like, that's the Luke that I want to be. Like, you know,
dude, I love that movie, and it's remained my favorite Star Wars movie for as long as I can remember, and it doesn't get old. I can watch. That's another one that I definitely watch, probably more than once a month. Like I probably revisit that movie more than I should, and it just doesn't get old. It's fantastic. From Jabba's barge, Leia saving Han in the carbonite slab, killing Jabba with her bare hands, and
how did Boba not die?
I guess we'll find out.
You know, they have to show us. If they don't answer that question with this show, that's a little ridiculous. We got to know how the dude, unless they just like shrug it off as like a joke, like, of course I survived. Like, what do you? I wouldn't. You know, like, that. I'm okay with that.
Well, it's a distinct possibility too. Like, there's a good chance they just like the most they do is show us like his hand slap outside the dirt or something. Like, it's like, because how do you explain?
Did they already show something like that?
No, they showed.
Maybe it was a fan clip or something that I saw.
No, it was Patton Oswalt explaining in Parks and Rec what he believed the Star Wars sequel trilogy should be, and he got up on the podium and he goes, "All right, so we open on the dune sands of Tatooine, and we zoom in on the beast that is the Sarlacc, and we see a hand hit the sand." And
that's awesome. I think it's more Boba style if he came up spurs first. And he used the spurs to get into the sand, and that's how he got up.
That would be awesome. He does like a whole like
legs
rising from the dead thing where
he puts both his spurs, locks them to the ground, and just does a major ab workout, just like
he does the Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal, but from his back to his feet.
The reverse lean, yes. He just freaking brute strength just gets up, pulls the whole Sarlacc with his back. You know, he's pulling the Sarlacc out of the pit with him.
Fantastic.
But yeah, Return of the Jedi.
No, Return of the Jedi, that's a no doubt. That's a no-brainer for me. But yeah, that concludes my top 5. What's your number 1 here?
And this one's going to surprise a lot of people, probably because a lot of people just don't know what this movie is.
Oh, god damn. I didn't even realize this was your number 1.
It is my number 1 because this is the movie that I go back to and just watch. I seriously don't know why. It's just what you I don't know. It's just what I do. It's just that good of a movie. It's called The Book of Eli.
Someone just went,
What? I've never heard of that movie. Yeah, you just said the Book of who? Like, okay, the Book of Eli. I'll repeat it for you a couple times so you can get it in your brain. The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli. It stars Denzel Washington, Gary Oldman, Mila Kunis. I think those are all the big stars. But
if you're interested, head to patreon.com/KoroBloom where you'll find a few honorable mentions, one of which also stars Mila Kunis for me.
Mm-hmm. And it's Denzel's performance is unbelievable. Gary's is also everyone's performance in this movie is amazing. The premise of the movie, to give you like a general rundown, is this is in a world where some apocalypse took place, some war maybe, the earth is in shambles after warfare, like it's not a good place to live. And every book that's ever been in existence has been burned. And it's being, put away. And you don't know why, it's just, it's happening. And Gary Oldman is looking for a very specific book.
Can I take a guess?
You can take a guess.
The Book of Eli?
No, actually.
Fuck!
Yeah, I guess the Book of Eli is in this book. But
the
it is
Bible?
He's looking for the Bible. That is why every book has been burned. And like this is why, to get rid of the Bible. And we learn that Denzel, he has the last Bible in existence. And he was told, carry it west. That's all he was told. And Denzel, as Denzel is, he's a badass in this movie. He carries around a machete, a shotgun, and a pistol, and he carries that book west, and anyone that gets in his way, it's not really good.
You did.
But I won't say how like Gary Oldman and all them get involved, because it's such a good movie that I just recommend you just go watch. Like,
I will go watch it. This is the best
uh,
recommendation I've ever gotten for the Book of Eli.
Yes, I'm not a very religious person at all, and this movie is pretty much solely based upon religion, but it's not so hard focused that like it takes you out of the movie.
I get you.
Just get this overarching like, oh, they're looking for the Bible. Like that's really it. Like that's really as far as religious as it goes. It's just really cool what happens, and it's just a really creative story. Denzel just kills it, man. I don't know. I love Denzel. He's my favorite actor. So, and this is my favorite movie of his. So this is why it's just my number one. I love Denzel, and this is my favorite Denzel movie. So I guess that is the reason behind it.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Denzel's my comfort actor, I guess you could say.
Hell yes. I love it. Comfort actors, Ewan McGregor and Denzel Washington. That's it.
Yep.
That's the list. Keanu Reeves, Pedro Pascal. It can keep going. But that concludes our we got comfortable, We got comfortable.
Mm-hmm. I got some good stuff to watch,
Hell yeah.
Got some
Hell yeah. It's just a bunch of shit that'll make you happy. Oh yeah. That's all it is.
This is a good time right now. I'm gonna have some great TV to watch, some great movies to watch too.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll conclude it there. That was the 139th episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. Was I, Colton Robertson, and I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
What a prime episode. It was 139. Thank you for having me.
Prime episode indeed.
Thank you for having me.
Prime episode indeed. Of course. And you will be back rather soon, I'd assume.
That assumption is correct.
It is. If you would, head to patreon.com/KoroBloom where you'll find a 35-minute exclusive introduction where we got out a bunch of honorable mentions, a bunch more TV and movie recommendations, basically, for you, if that's how you want to treat this. That's how I'd recommend you do it. Just watch everything we've mentioned here. But hell yes. It's and we've also got like 18 hours, 18 and a half, 19 hours of content now over on Patreon. Jeez. 26 exclusive introductions. It was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And head to Twitter @PennyBloomPod, follow. Head to Instagram @PennyBloomPodcast, again, Valdo. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And always praise Keanu Reeves.